Is present. I'd like to remind our audience and board members of our meeting norms. Participation of the audience is not allowed outside the designated time for public comment. Negative comments on individual personnel or students will not be entertained in the public session. Board members will not ask questions or deliberate on topics not included on the agenda posted. Board members will respect and follow proper meeting rules and norms. With that, I'll move to the next item, which is invocation. That will be led by Ms. Patty Sage. Please still stay standing. The next item is the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Velasco Elementary student Rayleigh Wade.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honoring the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you so much, Rayleigh. We appreciate that. On the back. Principal's here. She's happy, so everybody's happy. Okay, moving on to the next item. Public hearing to discuss amended application from Freeport LNG. Mr. Dan Schaefer will now conduct the public hearing. This is a public hearing, so audience participation will be invited at the conclusion of the presentation. Mr. Schaefer.
Thank you. Good evening. The following public hearing will be held in accordance with board policy CCG local, along with the district's strategic objective of providing alternative resources through alternative funding. As you mentioned, it is related to amending two Freeport LNG applications for value limitation agreements. We do have Representative Molly Hanley from O'Hanlon McConnell Procurement, along with Oak Casey and Associates, to actually facilitate the public hearing. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Molly. Why don't she left?
I tried. Good evening. Thank you all for your time tonight. What we're bringing back to you is an agreement that was originally presented to the board back in 2013 for two of the LNG terminals that were going to come to Brazosport. As time progressed, the permitting part of the process took a little bit longer. So what the company is asking the district to consider tonight is amending the original agreements that would actually move the value limitation back for 1 year on each of train 1 and train 2. Good news is that doesn't affect the actual terms of the original agreement. You are still wholly indemnified. It just actually gives a better picture of what the true cost of the project are going to be now that they are closer in time, back in 2013 versus 2014. The cost of developing a project are more clear, so you get a better idea of the actual impact on the district's finances. Mo Casey prepared an amended finance report for the project that shows the benefits. Actually, with these new costs, it looks like you're going to realize full 10% of the savings that the company is getting, so approximately $12.1 million on each of these trains. It just will be happening a little bit slower than we anticipated. Other than that, there's no changes to the agreement. It's just really a matter of timing. They haven't added any additional property or haven't asked you to make any other determinations apart from the permitting takes longer. We'd like you to go ahead and move the back one. And that's just on trains 1 and train 2. Nothing's happening with train 3. And I don't know if there were anybody who wasn't on the board at the time. I know that there are representatives from the company here. If there's questions about the project itself, but I'm happy to answer any questions about the agreement or the finance report.
Anyone in the audience have any questions? Anybody on the board have a question?
I have a question,
So,
Dan. What's your comment?
This was anticipated. We actually included it in our 2014 bond projections. It's something we've been discussing for a while. And really the application, whenever it came in, solidified the amounts. This is merely adopting the actual agreements. It's good news for us. We actually get to retain additional funds. And in addition to that, it'll help pay for the 2014 bond at 15% higher cost. Get to keep all the revenue generated for taxing purposes related to those projects. So I think it's a good thing. We kind of expected it. In fact, we delayed all of our projections, all the projects by a year simply because of what we're hearing. Labor market's tight, supply market's tight. Everything is taking a little bit longer because everyone's so busy working on things and everything's happening at the same time. Obviously, it's feast or famine. Right now it's feast. It's taking a little longer to get everybody to the table. So I think it's a great thing. Happy to work with them, and I'm glad to see it still moving forward. Because that's always the uncertainty is whether it is going to move forward. I've heard that they actually have financing for both of these projects, and so that's always important to make sure you actually fund it. It's always that's great to have an idea, but if you can't fund it, it's going to be a challenge. So it's great to hear that they are moving forward and have financing for it. And glad we have some more solid numbers, and we'll continue to get updated throughout the process to make sure our estimates are accurate.
You asked me to vote yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'll do that for you.
All right, thanks.
yeah, the permits are done, everything is, so it's now a go, so that's a good thing.
I believe they've announced it in your newspapers,
Yep.
that they're ready to go.
No further questions? One last chance for the public comment? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this point. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Vice President, I would recommend you clear the time.
Okay, the time to 6:07, or it is 6:07. Next item is my favorite, awards, achievements, and recognitions, and so I'll turn this over to Ms. Marla Christmas. All yours.
Thank you so much. Vice President Atkins, Superintendent Dr. Alaska, board members, and guests. As always, it's my pleasure to bring you the awards and recognitions of Brazos Sport Independent School District. And tonight, I must tell you, we have quite a few. If you looked in your board book, if you looked on your agenda, we have some very talented students who lead this evening, and we also have some outstanding schools that have done some great things. Without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Randy Whitten to join us. Board members, if you will come down here. Mr. Atkins, if you will stand here to my left for photographs, that would be great.
I'm Randy Whitten. I'm the energy specialist for BISD, and it is my privilege tonight to introduce to you Dr. Leonard Merrill with Synergistic, who is here to present some prestigious energy efficient recognitions. So would you please welcome Dr. Leonard Merrill.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, Dr. Alaska, I've not gotten the applause before. I'm a little embarrassed almost. But I am pleased to be here tonight because I do represent Synergistic, the Energy Conservation Company, but I really am also representing the United States Environmental Protection Agency. And I think you should be proud of what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about savings that this district has accrued through energy management, through energy conservation. We have a check over here that we'd like to present to the board. We have a number of things. You're getting a special recognition tonight because the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency is 15 years into recognizing organizations, companies, school districts that have earned the Energy Star Award. You've got 17 such schools and this administration building that have earned that award tonight. I would like to call their name, if I may, Superintendent, if you don't mind, and ask them maybe to come up and get it. We've got an award here. They'll have an award for their school. They'll have this paper award that they have also. And I'll also, before I start calling the names, would also show you one more plaque that has been sent to you. Excuse me. That would be displayed here. It is called an Energy Star Certified Building in 2014. What this represents is not only conserving energy, it's also helping the environment, and it's also saving industry. We'll talk about that in just a second. So I'm going to have this for you. Randy will take this and make sure it gets in the right spot. I'd like to start, if I may, if you'll allow me, Mr. Vice President, by calling the names of the different entities, the different schools that have won the Energy Star Award. I'm going to call the name, and I think Mr. Whitten is going to give the award out. Would, and I guess representatives, principals, or whatever will come forward as his names are called. Gladys Polk Elementary. These are not. A.P. Bortle Elementary. Velasco Elementary. T.W. Ogg Elementary. O.A. Fleming Elementary. Stephen F. Austin Elementary. Okay. Bess Brandon. See if I can rearrange these in a little different order. Elizabeth Nay Elementary. Jane Long Elementary. O.M. Roberts Elementary. Mage Griffin Elementary. All right, Freeport Intermediate. And Clute Intermediate. Rasco Middle School. Brazos Wood High School. Brazosport High School. And we're hoping that's 16, and number 17 is the administration. I don't know that I've ever been to a school district, and I've done a few of these, not a lot, I have to admit, but I don't think I've ever been to one that everybody won an award tonight. Congratulations to all of you. You know what it's like. You're the reason. Your teachers are the reason. Your employees are the reason that these awards are there. So I hope you go back and really help them to understand just how important this certificate is, and really how important it is to save your district money and to clean the environment and process. So you did all that. Congratulations to all of you. Now I think we've got a picture coming with everybody. How do you want to do that?
Anyway. Yes, sir, I'd like
Hey,
to.
bring the check over here, Randy. We've got a facsimile, and I after I explained to Randy that this check is not, you can't cash this check. It's really important to take this to the bank before they move it. We've got a check in the amount of $589,000. I've only let you take one of me. Now this is
That's what they saved by turning off the lights and turning off the air over this last year.
Okay, this side kind of okay, and Sarah, will you move that way a little bit? Okay, there we go. Go that way just a little bit. Thank you. Thank you. Got everybody? All right, everyone?
There's one more thing. Rather than me try to explain just how important this award is, if you'll let me read something here that we just received, just recently. And so this is addressed to Superintendent Huasca. And it says, Dear Dr. Huasca, I'm writing today to congratulate you and the Brazosport Independent School District for earning EPA's Energy Star certification for 17 of your buildings for the first time. This accomplishment makes you an important part of our national Certification Nation campaign. As we commemorate the 15th anniversary of Energy Star certification for buildings and plants, we're taking time to reflect on the people and organizations like yours who made it possible. Energy Star certified buildings use 35% less energy and cause 35% fewer greenhouse gas emissions than their peers on average. Earning this certification and displaying the Energy Star is a simple way to let your stakeholders know that you've made the right choice to be responsible stewards of your district's finances and to protect the environment. And you're not alone. More than 25,000 buildings and plants have also made that important simple choice to become Energy Star certified, identifying themselves as among the most energy efficient in our nation. Building a stronger economy, preserving our communities, and protecting the health of all Americans depends on the efficient use of energy resources. Your work to improve the energy performance of your buildings is your portfolio helps to build that better future and also serves as a model of other organizations to follow. Thank you for your dedication to protecting the environment, and congratulations again on your notable achievement. And that is signed by Joan Lupinacci, and she is the Chief Energy Star for Commercial Buildings and Industrial Plants for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. So congratulations to you. You allowed this to happen. These people out here are the ones that made it happen, but it takes a whole team. If there's not a better place in Texas for a place to be right at the top of conserving energy and saving money, I can't make a better place than Brazosport ISD. Congratulations. I want to say one other thing about Brazosport. And I think it's interesting. I knew I had this. I just want to look at it. The EPA has done a national drive to just remind people of what the EPA does, what Energy Star means. And you were part of a national certification campaign that included a real estate investment company called Principal Real Estate Investors, TIAA CREF, you know who that is, Prince William County Schools in Virginia, and the fourth one was your district. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce Brazosport High School Principal Jennifer Gonzalez. Jennifer has been elected by her principal peers across the state to serve on the Board of Directors for the Texas Association of Secondary Principals, School Principals. She was nominated by fellow board member Britt Jaco, principal of Lake Jackson Intermediate. TASPA is the largest administrative professional organization in the state of Texas. Congratulations, Jennifer.
Good evening. It's my honor to present to you the Heartworks recipient for November, Ms. Kathy Tipp. Ms. Tipp is an instructional aide at Madge Griffith Elementary School. Ms. Tipp received the Heartwork nomination from her principal, Karen Mott, for her participation in building campus morale. Ms. Tipp is new to the Griffith campus this year, but has not kept her from participating and contributing to the campus's welfare. She is helping to coordinate the Think Through Math program and sponsoring the storytelling event for the academic UIL contest this spring. Ms. Tipp's attitude and work ethic make her an asset to the Griffith staff. Thank you for all that you do every day to help students be successful on your campus. Ms. Tipp, please accept this dinner for two from our 4 BISD Kids partner, El Chico's, and a certificate on behalf of Dr. Alachka and the board for going above and beyond to make BISD a great place to work.
Missouri County Fair held its 76th annual Fair and Rodeo this past October, and BISD art students earned numerous awards. Our talented, award-winning artists are G.P. Sims, outstanding. Sarah Roichley, best of class. From Grady Rasco Middle School and are under the direction of Catherine Baldwin. For Lake Jackson Intermediate, under the direction of Michelle Stoller, is Lisa Ebach. Riley Arnold, reserve best of class. Ashley Watkins, best of class. And Madeline Merritt, outstanding. From Brazosport High School, under the direction of Emily Middleton, are Lauren Damian, reserve best of class. Morgan Platt, outstanding. Neil Motsky, reserve best of class. Anto Maida, best of class. Alexandra Vanderheider, Senior Portfolio Scholarship. Caitlin Havlick, Senior Portfolio Scholarship. Cheyenne Garcia, Senior Portfolio Scholarship. Violet Gonzalez, Senior Portfolio Scholarship. Megan Whistler, Judge's Choice. Trent White, Judge's Choice. And Sarah Lee, Judge's Choice. Also, BISD students brought home $9,000 in scholarship money. Yearly, BISD holds its annual holiday card contest. This year's winner is an 8th grade student from Lake Jackson Intermediate, Emily Frausto. Also under the direction of Michelle Sallard.
It is my pleasure to present the student athletic recognitions at this time. Cross country from Brazosport High School. This team advanced, the girls team advanced from district competition and competed in the regional meet. Crystal Ramos. Ashley Bustamante. Kayla Nieto. Rosa Mesa. Brittany Gomez. And they were coached by Robert Nickel. Our boys cross-country team from Brazosport High School also competed in the regional meet. Ethan Gray, Luis Alvarez, Chris Head, and he's not here tonight, but I do want to mention his name because he was the district champion and advanced out of regional and was a state qualifier. It was Chris Landon. And Coach him to break the mile record this spring, right? The school record. And Coach Devin Therion. Our Brazosport High School volleyball team made the playoffs for the first time in 16 years. We'd like to recognize Mariah Corrales, Maya Singleton, Kylie Sanders, Demi Jo Velasco, Lornell Fuller, Alyssa Robledo, and Jasmine Harris. And they are coached by Coach Johnson. Our Brazos Wood High School all-district volleyball players are Gabrielle Ford, Nicole Peters, and she was also named the Brazoria County Player of the Year, and Emily Robinson, who was also the County Center of the Year. And there comes by Elizabeth Lyman. Next, we have our Brazosport High School all-district football players. Jeremiah Credit was the all-district utility player. And Nathan Lewis, first team all-district player. And Coach John Barner is here tonight.
Sadly, that is the very best part of this evening. Thank you all so very much. Thank you.
On the agenda is a audience with individuals. This time there not everyone signed up, so we'll move on to the next item. Executive session. We will not have one at this time. We'll move on to the next item, which is number 9 on the consent agenda.
Thank you, Vice President Atkins. Before I provide the highlights of the consent agenda, I'd like to wish each of our trustees a very happy holiday and let you know that the poinsettias in front of your seat this evening are a gift for you for your service to our district. So, thank you. As far as the consent agenda, there are only a few items to highlight this evening. Under bid awards, we are recommending the board award bids to multiple vendors for the repairs of musical instruments. It's necessary to work with multiple vendors that can support the repairs necessary for the variety of instruments our students utilize in the district's fine arts program. And we have some great fine arts programs. Implementation of the 2012 bond initiatives continues in our purchases exceeding $25,000. We are recommending the continuation to phase 2 of our improvements and replacements of the intercom systems throughout the district. The partnerships with K-12 Insight and Thompson & Norton for legal services have already been approved by the board in earlier meetings this year, and this is just processing of those agreements. And finally, we're proud to share that our Brazosport Choir will be going to New York this year and have worked hard to acquire the funds needed for this once-in-a-lifetime experience. So we are very proud of these students. These are the highlights from the consent agenda, and it is the recommendation of the administration that the board approve the consent agenda as outlined in your board packet.
Are there any items requested by any board member to report? Hearing none, entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Motion by Mr. Howard, second by Mr. Sullivan. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item starts with reports. First item is energy savings and efficiency program update.
Thank you, Vice President. I know your eyesight is still keen. Good evening once again, and once again, I'm Randy Whitten, and I'm the energy specialist for BISD. Glad to be here. Our report tonight is going to be in accordance with Board Policy CL Legal and in alignment with Strategic Objectives for Strategy 3.1. It's my pleasure to present the Energy Savings and Energy Efficiency Program update. This presentation is to update the board on the progress that we have made since beginning this program with Synergistic in January of 2013. As of October 2014, we, the district, in partnership with Schneider Electric, who came in 2010, and provided energy savings retrofit of our HVAC controls, energy efficient lighting and water savings controls, and Synergistic, who came in January of 2013, currently under contract to lead the way in behavioral and equipment modifications, have achieved actual bill-to-bill savings in the amount of $589,378. These joint efforts have resulted in a decrease in cost in utilities to our district from $4.1 million in 2010 to $2.7 million at the end of our base year with Synergistic in 2013. Currently, we are on track to end our second year with a targeted $2.5 million utilities cost. This represents a significant decrease in cost of utilities to our district. Not only is the district saving money, we are also having a profound impact on the environmental footprint. Our Energy Cap 19 report shows savings of $788,000 using adjustments for our dehumidification cycle and weather factors. This would result in 790 cars not being driven for 1 year and 97,000 tree seedlings grown for 10 years. Quite a positive environmental effect. Some of the adjustments made are still being worked out between BISD and Synergistic, so I chose to show actual dollar savings straight off the utility bills. Now, these savings would not have been possible without the tremendous teamwork of all of our BISD employees. Each school and building is represented with an energy champion who has volunteered to be the energy leader in my liaison in energy actions throughout the year. I would also like to recognize the teamwork and cooperation from our maintenance and operations team, our HVAC team, custodial services and all the head custodians throughout the schools, and child nutrition team throughout the district. And last but certainly not least, I would like to thank our management team and our superintendent, Dr. Karen Alonska, for their tremendous support of the program. And we're looking for bigger and better things each year, and I'm happy to give you that report tonight. Any questions?
No questions?
Good job. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
The next item on the agenda is the reconstitution requirements for campuses.
Good evening. My name is Dorothy White. I'm a professional service provider for Polk Elementary here in Brazosport ISD. And I'm part of a three-woman team to share some information with you this evening. In accordance with Board Policy AIC Legal, we are here tonight to report on the regulations that campuses required to reconstitute under Texas Administrative and Education Code must follow as they engage in the reconstitution planning process. According to code, when a campus is assigned an unacceptable performance rating under the state academic accountability system for 2 consecutive school years, the Commissioner of Education shall order the campus reconstituted under procedures developed by the Texas Education Agency. The reconstitution process has 2 main components: staffing determinations and campus resign. Staff determinations include the removal, reassignment, or retention of some or all campus administrative and/or instructional personnel in accordance with at least the minimum requirements of Texas Education Code 39.107. Those minimum requirements are outlined in the slides that follow. First, let's look at the minimum staff determination requirements for the campus principal. For a principal to be subject to review, she must have been the principal on the campus during the time the campus earned the 2 consecutive improvement required ratings that led to the reconstitution requirement. The principal may not be retained at that campus unless the campus intervention team determines that retention of the principal would be more beneficial to student achievement and campus stability than removal. The campus intervention team members include professional service provider and district coordinator of school improvement assigned to the campus. For campuses that will be planning for reconstitution during the 14-15 school year, this means that the principal had to be on the campus all of the 2012-2013 and 2013-2014 school years.
Good evening, I'm Carol Reed, and I'm the professional service provider for Velasco Elementary and Fleming Elementary. We're going to look at the minimum requirements for teachers. A teacher or subject assessed by a state assessment instrument may be retained only if the campus intervention team determines that a pattern exists of significant academic improvement by students taught by the teacher. If an educator is not retained, the educator may be assigned to another position in the district. This means that when making a retention determination for a teacher, data points around student improvement must be included. Therefore, data beyond that which is captured in the PDAS appraisal instrument is required before retention determination can be made. If it is determined that there is not a pattern of significant academic improvement by a teacher's student, then the teacher can be reassigned to another position in the district, going to a different grade level or to another position on the campus does not meet the statutory requirement. Reconstitution staff determinations are not limited to reviewing only the campus principal or teachers who teach state-assessed content areas. Provisions in the law allow for the removal, reassignment of some or all campus administrative and/or instructional personnel, taking into consideration proactive staffing measures the campus or district has already taken. This provision supports a district decision to make staff determinations for all instructional personnel on the campus. The campus intervention team, in cooperation with Human Resources, will make all staff determinations for the 6 reconstituted campuses. These decisions will determine which teachers will remain on the campus and which ones will be reassigned to another position in the district. It is not the role of the campus intervention team to determine who will or will not remain employed by Brazos Fort ISD. The campus intervention teams assigned to each campus can be seen in these graphics.
Good evening, my name is Linda Boas, and I'm the BISD, the professional service provider for Lanier Middle School and Long Elementary School. Reconstitution implies that there is a rebuilding of a campus taking place, and therefore staffing is only one part of the rebuilding. Reconstitution also includes the implementation of a campus redesign approved by the Commissioner of Education that provides a rigorous and relevant academic program, provides personal attention and guidance, promotes high expectations for all students, and addresses comprehensive school-wide improvements that cover all aspects of a school's operations, including but not limited to curriculum and instruction changes, structural and managerial innovations, sustained professional development, financial commitment, and enhanced involvement of parents in the community. Campuses engage in the reconstitution process to plan for sustained change. Our 6 reconstituting campuses designed a draft plan around each of the campus redesign elements. Those draft plans are currently being reviewed at the state level. Once the plans are accepted, the district can move forward in completing the planning process for each campus. The reconstitution planning timeline is determined by the state. Initial submission of draft plans to be reviewed by the state monitor for BISD was done on November the 14th. Submission of revisions to the draft plans and staffing determinations are due by February the 10th. Board approval of the final drafts of the plans are scheduled for the June board meeting. Submission of the final approval drafts will be made by July the 10th. Implementation of the reconstitution plans will occur during the 2015-2016 school year. Last year, 11 Brazosport ISD campuses were rated improvement required and were expected to implement campus-level interventions as part of the Texas Accountability Intervention System, or the TASE process. To support campuses in meeting the state requirements, professional service providers and the district provided information and resources to IR campuses, provided guidance to campuses for creating campus data analysis teams, assisted the IR campuses with writing their tips, implemented a systematic process for reviewing data and performance, and provided support and guidance to principals.
This year, the second year IR campuses were expected to maintain that campus intervention team by hiring a PSP and naming a DCSI, maintain the campus leadership team, continue to engage in the TASE process, and develop another targeted improvement plan, or TIP, present the TIP in a public hearing and for board approval, submit the TIP to the state, monitor the implementation of the TIP, and file quarterly PSP and DCSI reports. In addition, in the second year, they are required to engage in the reconstitution planning and open the next year as a reconstituted campus. Professional service providers and district leadership are continuing to provide various supports to second-year improvement required campuses as they meet state requirements and engage in the reconstitution process.
While we feel the efforts of the 6 reconstituting campuses to improve campus performance will positively impact their state accountability, we also want you to be aware of the requirements and possible sanctions they face next year if they do not. Those include the same expectations regarding the SIT and the TIP as they had as first and second year IR campuses, implementation and monitoring of the reconstitution plan, a potential hearing before the Commissioner of Education, and additional sanctions that could be imposed by the Commissioner, such as the repurposing of the campus, the alternative management of the campus, or the closure of the campus. The school board plays an important role in supporting the campuses engaged in the reconstitution process. By communicating the positive steps that campuses are taking to improve student performance, you are sending a message to the community that campuses are working hard to put in place processes, systems, and initiatives that are positively impacting student learning. Your help in developing partnerships with local industry will aid campuses when they implement their reconstitution plans next year. As you correct misconceptions in the community about the reconstitution requirements and process, you ensure that the right information is out in the community. When you support and encourage teachers, principals, and district leadership as they work hard to implement the reconstitution plans, you give them the confidence to face the opportunities and successes that are part of the reconstitution process, knowing that you stand behind it. This concludes our report on the reconstitution process. At this time, we would be happy to answer any clarifying questions that you have.
Thank you for that that report. We appreciate it. A lot of good info. Do you have questions?
We go back several slides, the part about everybody included in the process.
His life should be the concern of the man in the White House. Why is
Teachers. Reconstitution. Back to the reconstitution, back to teachers.
I've read the legal policy, and I have a copy of the code itself, and that bulleted item is not inaccurate. I mean, it says the campus intervention team shall decide which educators may be retained at campus. And it's really getting at the ones that fall under the assessments. And the way ours was implemented, we were interviewing the PE teacher and the music teacher and the librarian and the counselor, none of which fall under any of the assessments. That's not something about the code, unless you can point out specific chapter and verse that I'm missing. And I've read both of them thoroughly. That's not an accurate statement.
I believe that this, I would have to research the actual things themselves, but its minimum requirement is to address the tested grade level content teachers.
Correct, at minimum. But that's all instructional staff. And all of our instructional staff were put through a stressful interview process that to me seemed like poor judgment on execution. First year teachers who don't have data to back them up were also interviewed, even though we interviewed them only 6 months ago. Again, that doesn't seem very value added on our part. So,
Can I just jump in for just a minute, because it's the responsibility of the school district to come up with the process. As far as the state is concerned, they would have no speaking points on that. That has to do with how we created the process and how, with our circumstances, they're giving you a broad range of what you can do as a district. They can't talk about our process because they didn't implement it, they were just.
It's also my understanding that the first year teachers are hired through the human X process, so that interview did not occur with the first year teachers. So that's an incorrect statement. And what code are you talking about?
39107. Okay.
The one that they referenced for the slide, which was all, if I may, is 19, Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 97, 1051, number 7, letter A.
Okay, you have a copy of that?
No. Yes, ma'am, it was, Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 97.1051, number 7, letter A.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Wait a minute. You got something? Do you have any other?
Can we go back to that last one, what the board can do?
Yes, sir. It take a second to get there, but we'll get there.
The second one, all campuses develop partnerships with industry. And how does that really apply? I mean, industry's not going to come in and except for writing a check, there's really not much they're going to do with reconstitution, with teaching, with academics, with rigor. So I'm just trying to understand what that actually means.
Some of the campuses and the taste plans that the board approved, and in their, not their taste plans, in their reconstitution plans, they're still working on that, as it's submitted to the state. They are looking at potentially reconstituting to a STEM type academy, with science, technology, engineering, and math, and continuing to address some ways in which they can better include industry programs into their campuses.
Would that come after it's repurposed, which is your?
It's got to be approved by the state first, and once it's approved, then we have to start next year reconstituting. So those industry partnerships need to be initiated now.
Any other questions?
But would that really go through the campus to do that?
Anything else? Stacy?
I guess I'm on that same slide, really wanting to support y'all to support the campuses, but I'm still trying to figure out, when you're saying communicate the positive steps we're taking, how can you possibly give a teacher 48 hours notice to not have them make up their mind Wednesday afternoon by Friday of what they want to do? Could y'all have not communicate that with them earlier and give them a longer period of time?
I can speak to that, Betty, because that was actually, I was involved with that directly. The purpose of that was to communicate to teachers that if they chose not to participate in the process because they had already made a decision regarding their future employment, whether it be they wanted to transfer off that campus already and they knew that, or they were going to resign or retire at the end of the year, if they had that knowledge, this would exclude them from being evaluated by this process. So it was intended to be an opportunity for people who had already made decisions regarding their futures to have the ability to go ahead and say that to us and say, okay, I know next year I'm resigning or retiring, or this is too much for me, I'd rather be on another campus. So as to avoid the entire process that we're putting in place, that was to give them notice. And it was secondarily communicated a little better than it was the first time. So the intent was never to force people to make a career-long decision in a 48-hour time span.
That's how every teacher I've spoken to
Yes.
has counted. So I just wanted to figure out as a board member how I can positively move
Well,
on from this.
and HR staff has been on campuses, and we have been speaking one-on-one to all of our teachers on those campuses regarding the intent of that communication.
That's been cleared up.
That's been cleared up to the best of my knowledge, and like I say, I've done multiple interviews and had conversations with individual staff members on campuses, and Mr. Shaney and Mr. Lawrence has done as well. So we feel like, and if you're hearing otherwise at this point, please let us know. We feel like that those staff members are more comfortable now than they've ever been with the process. Yes, it was very scary, very nervous for them, and it always is. It's for everybody. It's a challenge. We feel it. Our principals feel it. Our teachers feel it. And it is, there's a lot of pressure there to make determinations because they do know that determinations are going to be made.
I think it's just the 48 hour.
Yes, absolutely, and I apologize for that because I was involved with that as well to communicate out to, really the intent there was to allow people the opportunity that if they had already made decisions about what they wanted to do. We have some people that already know they're retiring at the end of the year. Those people, if they let us know, then they're not involved with this because they already made a decision regarding next year. We have people that every year transfer from one campus to another because of the impact. If you're on an IR campus, you may have made up your mind. It's a lot of work. They've got a lot of work going on, and the stress and anxiety of that work may lead them to say, hey, I want to go ahead and make a decision. I'm good with transferring. I want to let you know. So the intent there was to allow for people that already had made up their mind, or already knew what they wanted to do, they had the opportunity to work some of this process.
Mr. Summers?
Yes. I have a deep concern, Mr. Whitehead, a very deep concern of what I've heard and what I've personally seen. That apparently no teacher is ever told that she has a right to appeal a proposed suspension, or that she may have another evaluation by another person. When a teacher is told that she has to clear out her room in 2 hours, and our campus chief is there to make sure that she clears it out.
Mr. Summers, we're trying to maintain the Constitution. That's a different subject.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
It has to do with how.
We're talking about the reconstitution plans of the campuses now.
As far, is that, you mean with regards to what?
When they're evaluated to see if they're going to be assigned to another campus or be fired.
I'm not sure if
Talking about the same 48 hours.
evaluation regarding performance or with regards to the reconstitution? Because they haven't made any decisions regarding who's going to return to campuses. None of that's been made. That's still ongoing. So if it's something that's happened at this point, it was more than likely an individual employee issue. It has nothing to do with the reconstitution.
Well, let me ask this about the reconstitution. What do we mean by repurposing?
Repurposing.
Repurposing the campus.
Yes.
We have several options.
Yeah, it could be just, there could be several options that you would decide to use that campus for, other than what's being used right now. So,
Aileen?
repurposing, can you come up with?
Those
Yeah,
campus
like-
redesign
The
elements.
campus redesign elements that you saw in the slide, maybe back to that slide so you can see it, Mr. Service. That's what this slide is about. As we look at this, when we created the plans and worked on the plans, we were required to address, we were required to address two aspects. One was the staffing aspect, and the rest of it was what you see there, which is the campus redesign elements. These are requirements as part of the reconstitution process. So when you talk about a repurposing of a campus or a redesign of a campus, it's part of an overall transformation of how they do business so that they can better impact and meet the needs of the students in that school. And that's what they've done with their planning process. And then they've used each of these elements that you see up there in our plan. Each one is lined out. You have to explain what you've done already, what you plan to do, what your proposals are, and how you're gonna make it work and how to implement it. And that's what we submitted.
How are we addressing the parent community involvement?
Well, it really depends on the campus. Each of the 6 campuses has taken a little bit different tack based on their parent base and based on the needs of their students. So it could be anything from bringing parents into activities, including them on advisory committees, to having them part of the entire process as part of their CEIC. It just depends. The plans are varied from each campus to each campus.
And each, if I remember, each plan had a parent involvement.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Look at that, that's one. And you know, repurposing could be, and they've done this around the state, is you could have an all-female campus or an all-male campus. So that's
exactly
a
right.
lot of, you know, repurposing is kind of open-ended out there.
It is open-ended. That's a good term for it, Mr. Atkins.
Anything else, Mr. Simmons?
That's a good question.
Okay, any other questions?
What is the timeline for communicating back to the teachers that have gone through the interview process on whether they're going to be transferred, retained, moved, whatnot?
We have a deadline to post to the state our staff determinations of February 10th. So our communication with the teachers will occur at the beginning of January.
I heard the word retained.
Yes, sir.
So to me, it's going to be choice of retained or what?
Or move to another campus within the district.
Not fired.
Not fired.
We have a state law to follow when we fire a teacher.
That's absolutely correct.
I want to
That's
make that
absolutely
very
correct.
clear.
In fact, in one of the slides, in the text that our PSPs read, in one of the slides, it said it is not their job to make the determination of employment. It's where are they going to be? Are they going to be with that campus, retained on that campus to work with the reconstitution process, or assigned to another campus within the district?
But before we started this, I had some concern that we understood that there was a policy followed by state law whether we fired a teacher or not.
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's not part of the
Yeah, that's not
reconstitution.
part of what we do. That's not part of the staffing determination.
It's good to know.
That's not part of the
That's absolutely
reconstitution
right.
effort.
No,
Any other questions?
those are good questions.
Ms. Owen?
Yeah, I found the 97-105-7A, and again, it says some or all. So what was the thought process for interviewing all? I mean, if the campus only had a weakness in one area, why did everybody have to go through the interview process and not focus on the area of deficiency? So again, librarians and counselors and PE teachers and music teachers, I mean, why were they interviewed? What was the thought process behind that and not focusing? Because I read the law.
Because we believe everybody plays a part in the overall success of the campus, whether it's vertically or in different departments. We believe everybody plays a part in the success of the campus, and we felt like it was They're all certified educators, and we felt like it was important to have a clear picture on the performance and how they are impacting the overall aspect of the campus.
What was that communicated to them? Because a lot of people are like, why am I having to go through it? I'm not even one of the assessment areas. I've been doing this for years. I mean, in some cases, while it may seem like now everyone come all in, but at the same time, I mean, some people might be insulted by
That was clearly understood by the principals, that was communicated to the principals, and based on my understanding, yes, the principals had communicated that to their staff.
Any other questions?
So, do we want vertical alignment or not?
That's a curriculum. It's a curriculum. Answer yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
the answer is yes. I mean, and looking at the entire, I think I understand your question, Mr. Silvas, in looking at the entire process and this planning, it's a comprehensive top to bottom look at what are we going to look like from pre-K all the way up to the last grade level in that
I
school.
understand that. And we were told that we didn't have anything vertically aligned back in 2012.
Again, this is a reconstitution presentation, not a curriculum. But yes, we want vertical alignment, and we're closer than we were.
Yeah.
Any other questions? If not, thank you, ladies. We appreciate it. Mr. Redden, thank you. Mr. Redden, thank you. The next item is the district improvement plan first quarter update.
Good evening. In your board packet, you can see the fourth quarter report of the district improvement plan for the 2014-15 school year in support of the board goals. The district improvement plan is aligned to the strategic plan and the curriculum audit. We've also ensured that our strategies are aligned with the targeted improvement plans. Strategies noted accomplished are 100% completed. Strategies noted considerable progress are more than 50% completed. Some progress equates to that strategy is less than 50% completed, and no progress is 0% completed. There are 97 strategies in our district improvement plan targeted for completion by the end of the fourth quarter. Looking at the chart, you can see 26 of these strategies have been accomplished, 12 are over 50% complete, and 50 strategies are noted as some progress has been made by the end of the first quarter. I'd like to share a few of the highlights of our accomplished strategies for this first quarter time period. Under 1.1.2, core teachers have been trained on the readiness standards using the vertical alignment documents. And under 1.2.1, a common formative assessment system has been implemented. Under 3.1.1, we have accomplished during the first quarter the reestablishment of the Education Foundation to seek alternative funding. And of course, the successful passage of the 2014 $175 million bond referendum. There were over 80 different communication efforts made regarding the bond. I think this concludes the first quarter report of the district improvement plan. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Any questions?
6.1.2. Provide customer service training for all secretaries. What exactly is involved in that training? Is it outside training? Is it inside in-house development training? And by secretaries, what all does that mean? Is it in front of staff or front of house staff or front front office staff or, because I've got a particular incident that kind of probably was part of the reason for that.
Discovered a need.
Yeah.
Well, we discovered that need too, and that's why it was put in the district improvement plan, is that they do need customer service training and some training to interact with people and have a customer service spirit. And there's also, we've included them in our half-day professional development days that we've had during the school year, and so we've made a real concerted effort to include them and give them training, and it's offered to everybody else in the district also.
If it's in-house developed or
It depends. Some is in-house and some we contracted out. For the customer service training, we worked with college and did some training last year. And then those secretaries took the lead and they presented their own trainer of trainers. And we have meetings, each secretary and group, and teaching and learning, they meet together with the district office and they work together in process. They have a meeting every Monday to process and to get better and to determine what they need for campuses, how we can create the campuses better on a district level.
is there a kind of communications protocol to go with this as far as greeting people and the incident in question is potential future students to our high school did not feel warmly welcome and therefore now they're future students in Angleton. So is it specific to meet and greet with the parents or do we have a protocol and what's all in that protocol?
Our campus secretaries, they established in 2012 a coalition to work together and to get training. That has now been turned over since they have their bylaws, they have their vision, their mission, and their goals. They are now working with the HR department to tighten up and better serve their campuses. And that's just getting kicked off the ground for this year.
And my secretary, that's just the one person that sits at the front. I mean, that person's not there all the time. There's other people that kind of sub in.
All support staff have, yes.
Okay. Because it could be the dean's clerk, it could be the attendance
They
clerk.
can all attend.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? Not, thank you, Commissioner Mason. The next item is the preliminary board of trustees training hours. The candidates, so I'm just going to read it. In accordance, the president's supposed to report on this per, I guess, the law. In accordance with the board policy BISD legal, trustees are required to obtain annually the required number of continuing education hours. As fill-in board president, I am required by the State Board of Education to announce the name of each board member who has completed the required continuing education hours, who has exceeded the required hours, and who is deficient in the required continuing education hours. I'm also required to state that completing the annual required continuing education is a basic obligation and expectation of any sitting board member under the State Board of Education rule. In Tier 1, all board members have completed the requirement of 3 hours. In Tier 2, all board members except Mr. Joe Silvas has completed the required 3-hour training. In Tier 3, all board members have exceeded the required training hours. So I'd like to thank all the board members for meeting the continuing education hours, and this concludes the report from the training hours. Moving on to the next item, board committee reports. Anyone have any items they'd like to report on? No board reports?
I will say that the foundation, although I've only been able to go to one meeting due to holiday schedules, they're really rare to go, very exciting team, and we're going to be planning some special events and things that will be next week on a subcommittee.
Okay. I would like to take the opportunity to, since I was able to sit in on the TEA on-site visit back in April, I guess it was, May. Anyway, just a brief follow-up. I understand the report's not final, is that correct? But they did give us some some in writing. And so basically, I'd like to just highlight this very quickly. The district was identified for ongoing review during the 2013-14 due to the identification of substantial imminent ongoing risks across program areas monitored by the performance-based monitoring analysis system, which is the PBMAS. Basically, I think those who were here remember the stage 4 for bilingual and English as a second language, stage 3 for the CTE, stage 2 for the special education. So they had major concerns, and I won't go into that because these are posted on your board book. But they again, they wrote down that during the on-site visit, staff interviews revealed that prior to 2011-2012, the district had little direct leadership from the central office, with campuses permitted to determine their own curricula, professional development, resources, and response to interventions. This led to fragmentation of the district and a lack of overall systems within the district. The audit revealed that there was no formal curriculum, so that was, the curriculum audit was done. At the time the on-site visit was held, again, that was late April. The TEA team identified resistance had impeded full implementation of the system that had been created in response to the district's identified needs. Basically, they indicated, and we talked about this, or I presented this, about the shift in demographics, that the district and the district staff and community had been unprepared for that, and so I assume we're still catching up on that. The on-site team conducted focus meetings, interviewed administrators and teachers, examined documents, and observed classrooms to help identify the root causes of low performance. The findings are the results: data-driven instruction and curriculum-based assessments. They went through and they had a lot of use of the TRS curriculum. Again, when they were here, I guess it was 2/3 implemented. At this point, they also saw expectations of processes for lesson plans. Each campus uses some process and lesson plan template. Plans were not consistently submitted to administrators for review on every campus. And so we have quite a few items. They do have recommendations. I won't go into them. But the next item they talked about was student supports and interventions. The team did observe for the 2013-2014 school year, the district was focusing on student needs, examining materials, and leading the process to purchase the needed materials. The district had developed guidelines for RTI, but at the time of the visit had not provided them to the sites, to the campuses. So I assume that's been done. So again, they had some recommendations on that. They had information on bilingual and English as a second language. During the 2013-14 school year, at the time of the site visit, they found that the district was implementing the one-way dual language model of pre-kindergarten and kindergarten in an intent to completely phase out the transitional bilingual early exit model by 2016-17. That was a positive. Again, they have 3 or 4 recommendations. They highlighted dropout and graduation rates as needing some effort on. Also, they said that the special education students were not enrolled in the CTE courses, and so I think that's changed quite a bit, so that's a move in the right direction. They did have some findings on special education, and then have some improvements required. And the next step, they have 3 or 4 here, but I highlighted this. You know, basically, the district has to report to the TEA each month of the implementation and progress of improvement activities throughout the district. So, assume that's being done. So basically, I think, you know, just to kind of follow up on the report I made from sitting in and listening to them. Now we have it in writing. It is posted on your board book under the curriculum documents. I think it'd be worthwhile to read and understand. And I hope to get an update in next year sometime early on, just to see that, hey, you know, what direction we're headed from the TEA standpoint. Because they did come here to look. So,
What were the 3 subgroups they looked at when they came?
Special education, bilingual, English language learning, and CTE. So that's my report, so to speak. Moving on to the next item. norms. Item A, discussion and possible board action to approve amended agreement for limitation on appraised value of property for school districts maintenance and operations taxes based on application number 244 from Freeport LNG, Train 1. And item B, which I'll just include, is Train 2, application 245. So, Mr. Shaker.
Very much think alike. I was wanting to combine those two items, A and B. They are both in accordance with section CCG local, along with district strategic objectives to provide alternative resources for alternative funding. We did have a hearing this evening, which just discussed the applications, the related findings of economics, which were included in your packet along with the amended agreements, which are behind this section of the agenda. As mentioned, just to summarize, the reasons are due to delays in permitting and fortunately for us, not necessarily for them, increase in estimated construction costs. Result, obviously delays about 1 year, which we did include in our projections for the 2014 bond, along with increasing the construction costs, which we also included in the 2014 bond estimates. So all these factors have been taken into account. It's a pretty simple change on our end, from the fact that it's only these two items. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the amended agreements as proposed by council and the district's consultants under the Texas Economic Development Act of Freeport LNG for an appraised value limitation on qualified property for school district maintenance and operation taxes pursuant to chapter 330 of the Texas Tax Code and comptrollers less applications of number 244, 245.
Motion by Mr. Swing to approve. We're going to do this one at a time. Number 244 is that okay? We have a second by Mr. Sullivan. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Move for approval of 245. Motion by Mr. Swing to approve agreement 245. Second by Mr. Sullivan. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. Next item is bus driver and bus monitor compensation. Mr. Whitehead.
Continue that process. You just, I like that. Okay. Good evening. In accordance with Board Policy DEAB local and strategic objective, all staff will contribute to organizational excellence. It's my pleasure to present the bus driver and bus monitor compensation adjustment. BISD is currently faced with difficulties in hiring bus drivers. Area growth continues to pull employees from the district due to opportunities for work. Many neighboring districts are currently compensating bus drivers at a slightly higher rate than BISD. As you can see here, BISD is slightly behind scale in comparison with some districts. With a shortage of drivers and the options available to local workers, the administration has determined that it is in the best interest to reevaluate our current compensation for drivers and monitors. After much consideration, the increase of $1.50 per hour for driver and 75 cents per hour for monitor would provide a more competitive salary to attract and retain these valued employees. You'll notice on the chart there, our current structure is at the top in blue, and there are various school districts listed there. Most districts are slightly higher than us. CBISD would be the one who would probably bring the average down a little bit, and the suggested increase, the plus 150 is in red, which would put us in a much better situation for hiring and retaining our bus drivers. Projected annual cost is an additional $77,000, and the projected cost for the remainder of the 2014-15 school year is $43,000. The administration recommends the Board of Trustees approve a $1.50 per hour increase to all bus drivers, an hourly increase, and a 75 cents per hour increase to all bus monitors effective January 1st, 2015.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Is $1.50 enough? Should we look at $1.75? Well, maybe that would attract some of those in the other areas. I mean, not be cutthroat about it.
Potentially.
I know that's 43,000 for the rest of this year, but then I know that carries over to next year, so that's ongoing. Salaries are ongoing.
And
will we be doing this prior to the next budget year?
Well, certainly, we do have the opportunity before we adopt our next compensation plan next year to make additional moves if we see fit. This is a mid-year change that we think it's definitely worth doing at this point, but absolutely something that we can reevaluate when the compensation plan comes out for next year.
We'll definitely look at that.
Absolutely, absolutely. We may be revising again our compensation adoption.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable with that. Any other questions?
Yeah, how many monitors do we have? Are there certain routes?
We have 11 monitors.
Special guys.
Any other questions?
We have right at 40 bus drivers. We have 28 bus drivers that are full-time exclusive bus drivers, and we have some staff members, teachers, parents that also drive routes as well.
Is this more just to keep the ones we have, or is this really to try to attract the ones or both?
It's both. It's both. You know, word of mouth is important from the drivers that I've spoken with. I feel like, and for Mr. Craig, Transportation, he feels like this is a great move in the right direction that will assist us for the remainder of the year. He felt good about it.
So, oh, I'm sorry.
We're losing a lot because of the construction. Do we know how much they're paying bus drivers for construction?
Mr. Craig reported to me that, say it out loud. Yes, Champions is paying approximately $23 an hour, which is, the issue there though is consistency, reliability, TRS contribution, retirement benefits, some of those things that we provide that they're not, does help balance out that.
Now, the bus drivers that go to work for industry basically drive in the morning, drive the crew out at night. There's some shift changes and stuff like that. Have we thought of having any discussions with them regarding shared resources, or is that getting to co-employment?
I'm not sure that's, because I think some of them drive in because of rainouts, et cetera. I'm not sure they have two shifts like.
I understand, but have we had the discussion if there's an opportunity to leverage or share, or they are contractors and we contract, and have we even had discussions about?
We haven't pursued existing drivers because of the salary that they're able to offer. We haven't. It would certainly be something to consider. We can begin those discussions, and we're open for any opportunities to secure drivers.
So that if we gave approval to that $1.50 raise, we would just be behind Maryland?
Pearland has two stages. If you notice, it's mentioned there twice. Pearland has what they call a master driver, and that's the one with the M next to it. They'll be slightly behind their master driver, but they require some additional certifications for that. We don't have that second level tiered system like Pearland does. But at $14.50, it puts us ahead starting pay of all of these that we were able to get, and districts aren't, they don't like to provide this information a lot, so this is as many that I could get to respond from about 50 that were polled. Because it's competitive.
So basically, you're trying to steal bus drivers away from
Anywhere I can get them. No, not specifically.
Not that control.
So, one district.
Any other questions, comments, thoughts?
We will just, when will it go into effect?
Starting January 1st, since we come back from the break.
Motion by Mr. Sullivan to approve the rate increase for the bus drivers and the monitors, second by Mr. Sullivan. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Next item is new courses, social studies, science, English, and CTE.
policy, e.g. local, and objective 1.1 of the strategic plan, the Teaching and Learning Department would like to provide you with information regarding 28 new courses and request approval for implementation in the 2015-2016 school year. All of the courses presented this evening have gone through the application process for new course creation, including approval by campus administrators and the Teaching and Learning Department, and have been presented to the DEIC District-Wide Educational Improvement Council. The first course is Advanced Placement Psychology. This is a one-semester weighted course proposed by Brazoswood High School. This would be our 5th AP Social Studies course in the district and supports the Arts and Humanities endorsement under House Bill 5. Students will be encouraged to take the AP test with the opportunity to earn university credit. The second course proposed is AP Physics 2. Last year, the College Board made the decision to replace AP Physics B, a year-long course, with 2 new year-long courses, AP Physics 1 and AP Physics 2. In 2014-2015, we offered AP Physics 1, and next year the addition of AP Physics 2 would fully implement the College Board's recommendation. AP Physics 2 is a weighted AP Algebra-based introductory college-level physics course that would be offered to 11th and 12th grade students both at Brazoswood and Brazosport High School.
Good evening. My name is Kathleen Lindsay. I'm the English Language Arts Teaching and Learning Coordinator. There are 2 English courses being proposed tonight. Humanities would be a full-year course that can count as 4th-year advanced English under House Bill 5's Foundation Plan and supports the Arts and Humanities endorsement and the Education, Training, and Human Services pathway. It is a rigorous reading and writing course that leads to an understanding, appreciation, and enjoyment of critical creative achievements in history. The second course, Visual Analysis and Production, is a semester-long English elective course and supports the Arts, Audio-Video Technology, and Communication pathway under House Bill 5. Students would critique and analyze the significance of visual representations and learn to produce media messages. The estimated cost is the combined cost for media equipment at each campus, approximately $7,800 each. Both of these courses are for 12th grade students and will be offered at both high schools.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Enfield, and I am the Career and Technology Director. There are 24 Career and Technology courses being proposed tonight. The first 6 classes that will be discussed are the Career Portal classes that will be taught at all intermediate schools. All of these 6 classes are one semester and will be utilized as an introduction to a particular career cluster. The estimated cost for each campus is $12,000, which covers all course costs. The classes will help the students gain knowledge and experience so that they are better equipped to pick an endorsement when entering high school. The next 3 classes that are being proposed are CTED classes, which are career and technology courses for our students with disabilities. These classes will provide students with an overview of various skills needed to make a successful transition to the workforce and post-secondary education, and will be available at both high schools. The estimated cost for each campus is $9,000, which covers all of the course cost. The next set of career and technology classes that are being proposed help complete the coherent sequences that are needed for our students to earn an endorsement with a particular career cluster. All of these courses will either be offered at both high schools or they will be offered specifically at Brazosport College. The estimated cost for each class will vary depending on how many sections are needed at each high school. And the tuition cost for each class will vary depending on the enrollment at the college. These classes are being proposed again to help complete coherent sequences for the students to receive their graduation endorsement. However, some classes will help students receive additional certifications within their particular career cluster. The administration recommends the board approve the courses presented this evening, and I am happy to clarify any information shared with the board at this time.
Anybody have any questions?
Okay, is this gonna result in addition to the staff?
Are you talking for CTE in particular or just in general?
All across the board.
I can answer for CTE purposes. As of right now, that would be no. But that is not to say that obviously in years to come as our career and technology areas grow, then yes, we would have to look at that.
And for the English, it would not increase, the thing about the humanities is that it can be an advanced English, like a foundation plan. So potentially some of those English 4 teachers who, as kids don't sign up for English 4, they can be moved over to advanced humanities. So we don't anticipate staffing increase.
Are we having to give up anything? Because we're not adding staff, we're not changing hours, we're adding classes. Is there anything we can take away? Is there gonna be any issues with scheduling now because of these extra classes, such that we could come up short staff somewhere? Now you've got more students trying to take classes and rearrange their schedules and.
As far as for CTE purposes are concerned, right now, again, the addition is so that those children are able to have a coherent sequence, so that they are able to earn that graduation endorsement. And so we are looking to provide those students that opportunity to come in as a 9th grader and be able to continue with their CTE all the way through their 12th grade. And again, some of the classes that we are proposing are there to help give those students that opportunity to earn additional certifications so that they can possibly go into the workforce.
I don't ever want to say that we'll never need to add staff because of some of the courses, but at this point in time, we're not going to know until students register for the courses and we know how many students want to take those courses and different things of that nature. We have to look at certifications. So until master schedules are created and enrollment numbers are determined in the courses, we're not going to be able to answer that question.
Are any of these gonna be such that we've got only one teacher certified to teach that class plus another, we're only certified to teach another class? I mean, do we need to look to change professional development over the next?
CTE?
There's always that potential.
CTE has the certification issues more than.
Right, so my question is, are we gonna take proactive steps in the next 6 months while we're developing the schedule to go get teachers trained and certified so that we have more flexibility in trying to get aligned?
And I just want to say just a minute, all the recommendations that we've gotten, except for most of the CTE courses, came from principals from the campuses who looked at what they have on campus and the teachers that they have on campus and their certifications before they made this recommendation. As far as the CTE courses, it's in our best interest to really build that program for the cohesive sequence. And right now, we don't have the sequences in place in all areas, and this would just shore the program.
I think this is all great. I'm just trying to watch for that hidden trap that we haven't thought of yet that's gonna bite us when we get ready to try to kick this off.
As of right now, all of my CTE teachers, all of the courses that I proposed, all of the teachers that are within that endorsement area can currently teach any of the classes that are being proposed under their certifications that they have.
So I think it'd be great if we have more students who want to take CTE and these advanced courses, and we need more. That's what we should be looking at.
Yeah,
So if we approve this, of course. Any other questions? Any other questions? None? I like the CTE, but that addresses, the TEA, I think that would talk to. Okay, no further questions? I entertain a motion that we approve the different classes, additional classes as presented, made by Mr. Sorkin.
I have one question.
We need a second.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Sullivan.
That was very good.
Now we have discussion.
That was perfect. Are we gonna have any, in the future, any CTE things that are more geared toward the plants?
Actually, we currently have that. We have our manufacturing and construction, and I'm currently working with several of the industry people right now, working on internships and apprenticeships within those companies.
Like
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently talking with Dow and Zachary in BASF.
Any other discussion?
That's actually offered at the college, because we just don't have the facilities here at this point in time. So those kids are able to take all of that there at the college.
What are we offering?
We offer 12 of the 16 career clusters, and so that can range anywhere from agriculture to education to health science, manufacturing, science. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, no further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ladies. The next item, state testing requirements for 8th grade math and algebra 1. Deja vu.
Yes, sir, it is. Come back again. Good evening. In accordance with policy EKB legal, I'll review the state testing requirements for students in the 8th grade who are currently enrolled in Algebra 1. Students in the 8th grade who are enrolled in Algebra 1 are required to take the Algebra 1 end-of-course assessment. According to the United States Department of Education regulations, students must be assessed in the grade in which they are enrolled in both math and reading using an assessment approved by that department. The USDE also requires that all high school students must take one approved math assessment in high school. Assessments in the state of Texas that meet the approval of the USDE include the STAR and the STAR end-of-course exams. In a letter dated August 12, 2014, the USDE declined to grant TEA a waiver of the provisions of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act that require all students to be assessed in mathematics at least once in high school, stating, if the TEA cannot, under state law, require these students to take a higher level mathematics assessment in high school, the TEA must require that they take the STAR test for middle school in addition to the STAR Algebra 1 EOC and bank the results of the EOC for high school accountability. In his correspondence dated November 10, 2014, Commissioner of Education Michael Williams responded to the waiver denial by writing, double testing middle school students enrolled in Algebra 1 on the Algebra 1 EOC assessment and the grade level mathematics assessment is not a common sense option to address the federal requirement for a higher level mathematics assessment in high school for these students. He went on to say, double testing middle school students is instructionally inappropriate and an invalid evaluation of mathematics for Texas middle schools and high schools. TEA will continue to eliminate incentives for double testing students for accountability purposes. If a student takes the STAR Algebra 1 assessment and the STAR Mathematics grade level assessment, only the results of the Algebra 1 assessment will be included in the accountability calculations for the campus and the district for the student testing. BISD students who are enrolled in Algebra 1 are being instructed in the essential knowledge and skills specific to that course and not in the 8th grade TEKS. To prepare those students to successfully meet standard on the 8th grade STAR Mathematics, teachers would have to provide additional learning opportunities outside of the school day or take away instructional time from Algebra 1 to cover 8th grade mathematics TEKS. That would have a negative impact on student readiness to successfully meet standard on the Algebra 1 EOC. Given the Commissioner of Education's removal of accountability incentives for double testing students taking Algebra 1 in junior high, the negative impact on student readiness to meet standard on the Algebra 1 EOC, and the fact that students are not receiving daily instruction in the 8th grade mathematics TEKS, the administration recommends that the board approve the decision of the Assessment and Accountability Department to require 8th grade students enrolled in Algebra 1 to only take the STAR Algebra 1 EOC and not the grade 8 STAR Mathematics assessment. I'd be happy to answer any clarifying questions at this time.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I never thought about this till just looking at it 20 seconds ago. But the seventh graders, when the students taking Algebra 1 in 8th grade, have they had 8th grade math, 7th and 8th grade together the previous year, or how's that work?
Well, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if our 7th grade advanced math offers a mix of those TEKS or not. I don't know. I'm not the person to answer that. It may be.
Just curious.
They do.
Makes sense. I think I did that. I think I did that. Well, good. Okay, any other questions?
Basically,
So you have a question? Okay.
the commissioner is willing to defy the federal government?
Pretty much.
Wait a minute. Wait for the next one.
Don't go there. We're not gonna have a repeat last one.
Okay, any other questions? If not, I entertain a motion that we approve the state testing requirements of the board and administration. Okay. Motion by Mr. Sullivan, second by Mrs. Hayes. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is consideration of items pulled from consent agenda. Thank you, Mr. Britton. Consideration of items pulled from consent agenda. We didn't have any. Work session discussion is the next agenda item. Scheduling upcoming events. Citizens Bond oversight is December 17th. That's still good. Regular board meeting on the January 13th and the regular board meeting on February 10th.
Just one comment on the schedule. I definitely appreciate all the principals, sending us the invites to the programs. Unfortunately, I have a day job, so I can't make it to those, but I still do appreciate the invites and would definitely try to get to as many as I can. Just not taking it, but thank you anyway.
Yeah, just keep them coming. Our next, regular board meeting is January 13th, as I said, so, I guess on behalf of the board of trustees and administration and everybody, hope everybody has a nice holiday. You got another Merry Christmas and New Year's and all that, and you got what, another week and a half of school? So, then you can have fun after that, so. Anyway, wishing everybody a good holiday season from the board. I'm sure they'll echo that sentiment. The next item is executive session, may be called for the purpose permitted by the Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, section 551.001 through 551.146, section 551.071. Consultation with attorney, section 551.074, personnel matters, appointment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, dismissal, complaint. Item A, discuss, consider superintendent's evaluation, duties, and contract and related activities. B, legal advice related to the discussion, consideration of superintendent's evaluation, duties, contract, and related actions. We will move to executive session. We shall resume open session. We've completed our executive session. The next item is adjournment. Motion to adjourn by council. By Mr. Howard. Do I have a second? Second by Mrs. Shays. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?